Hello, this is Russ, and this is my Warrior Cats collection. Here's an overview of everything. And as we get closer, you can see all my knickknacks on the shelves. We have the original hardcovers in the back, the new paperbacks up front here. We've got the original series, The Prophecy Begins, the new Prophecy, Power 3, Omen of the Stars, Dawn of the Clans. And here we have more of the hardcovers going into A Vision of Shadows, and the first one in The Broken Code. Here's more of my knickknacks, including my cat bookend and such. Down here we have my super editions. In the back is the old paperbacks. And there's my GG Bank. And over here we have my foreign book collection. And down below we have my bind-ups. They made for the first 2 arcs. And then over here we have my novellas, mangas, and field guides. Oh, and my calendar from Germany from 2017. That is all my bookshelves, and for now, if you want to see a more in-depth look of each book I have, stay tuned. Starting with Into the Wild, we have the original hardcover. And we have the old paperbacks. Then the new paperbacks. The bind up with Fire and Ice. Then I have the French Into the Wild. Chinese Into the Wild. Another Chinese edition of Into the Wild. Hebrew Into the Wild. Spanish of Into the Wild. Russian. And finally, German. Those are all of my Into the Wild. And then on to Fire and Ice. Here is the hardcover. Then we have the old paperback, the new paperback, the alternative UK edition, the French edition, which is the old cover. And finally, I have the Spanish edition of Fire and Ice. And that is all of my Fire and Ice editions. Onto Forest of Secrets, I have the original hardcover, the old paperbacks, the new paperback, the bind up with Rising Storm, the UK edition of Forest of Secrets, a Chinese edition of Forest of Secrets, a alternate version of Forest of Secrets, and finally my Russian Forest of Secrets. That is all of my Forest of Secrets editions. On to Rising Storm. I have the hardcover, the old paperback, the new paperback, the UK edition of the Rising Storm, and finally the Chinese version of Rising Storm. And that is all my Rising Storm editions. Now on to A Dangerous Path. I have the original hardcover, the new paperback, the Chinese edition, and a Korean edition. And that is all of my Dangerous Path editions. The Darkest Hour I have in the original hardcover, the old paperback, the new paperback, the Bind Up with a Dangerous Path, the Chinese edition, a alternative Chinese edition, and finally the Russian edition. And that is all of my Darkest Hour editions. Next we have my original copy of Midnight, my old paperback of Midnight, my new paperback of Midnight, and the Bind Up with Moonrise. On to Moonrise, we have the hardcover, the old paperback, and the new paperback. Eisen. Then we have Dawn in the hardcover, the old paperback, the new paperback, and the Bind Up with Starlight. We have Starlight, the hardcover, the old paperback, and the new paperback. And then we have Twilight in the hardcover, the old paperback, the new paperback, and the Bind Up with Sunset. Oh, and also a very large French edition with the old cover. And that is all of my Twilight editions. Sunset in the hardcover, the old paperback, and the new paperback. Onto the site, I have the hardcover, which is autographed. And I have the old paperback and the new paperback. And we have Dark River in the hardcover, in the old paperback, and the new paperback. And on to OUTCAST, I have the hardcover, the old paperback, in the new paperback. And we have Eclipse in the hardcover, the old paperback, and the new paperback. We have Long Shadows in the hardcover, the old paperback, the new paperback, and a German edition. Then we have Sunrise in the hardcover, in the old paperback, and the new paperback. The Fourth Apprentice in hardcover, old paperback, and new paperback. Fading Echoes in the hardcover, the old paperback, and the new paperback. Night Whispers in the hardcover, and in the new paperback. Sign of the Moon in the hardcover, the old paperback, and the new paperback. The Forgotten Warrior in the hardcover, and the new paperback. The Last Hope in the hardcover, and in the new paperback. And then we have The Sun Trail in hardcover, old paperback, and new paperback. Thunder Rising in hardcover, and new paperback. The First Battle in hardcover, and new paperback. The Blazing Star in hardcover, and new paperback. Forest Divided in hardcover, and new paperback. Path of Stars in hardcover, and in the new paperback. The Apprentice Quest in hardcover, Thunder and Shadow in hardcover, Shattered Sky in hardcover, The Darkest Night in hardcover, River of Fire in hardcover, and The Raging Storm in hardcover, and Lost Stars in hardcover. And on to the super editions, I have Firestar's Quest in hardcover and paperback, BLUESTAR'S Prophecy in hardcover, SkyClan's Destiny in hardcover, Crooked Star's Promise in hardcover and in softcover, Yellowfane's Secret in hardcover, Tall Star's Revenge in hardcover and softcover, Bramblestar's Storm in hardcover and in Chinese, Mothflight's Vision in hardcover, and I have a Chinese edition. Hawkwing's Journey in hardcover, Tiger Heart's Shadow in hardcover, and Crowfeather's Trial in hardcover. Onto novellas, I have the Untold Stories, Tales from the Clans. I also have a separate Dovewing's Silence physical edition, Shadows of the Clans, and a separate Ravenpaw's Farewell edition, Legends of the Clans, and Path of a Warrior. Onto the manga, I have Graystripe's Adventure in color, The Lost Warrior, Warrior's Refuge, and Warrior's Return. I have the Ravenpaw's Path manga colorized, Shattered Peace, A Clan in Need, Into the Woods, and Return to the Clans, Beyond the Code, and The Rise of Scourge. Or Scourge. On to field guides, I have the Barnes & Noble, The Warrior's Guide, Enter the Clans, Secrets of the Clans, Secret of the Clans in German, Code of the Clans, Battles of the Clans, Cats of the Clans, and Warriors the Ultimate Guide. And that is my last Warriors book. I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like down below. Subscribe if you want to see more. Leave a comment if you wish. And check out my Patreon if you would like to support me.